kill them. I'll kill them all.
Alright, guys. We're on the comics now. There is no comic book news for me this week. I mean, there was one thing of note that did come up if you guys saw it, but I don't want to spend too much time on it because I thought it was fucking gross. The man, the legend, Jim Steranko, was on Twitter being a fucking loon and a xenophobic piece of garbage. You know, making some disparaging marks. You know, calling referring to the COVID-19 as the China virus.
Yeah, Kung Fu.
You know, the he might as well have said the Kung Fu. You know, he's just, you know, the usual, you know, xenophobic shit. You know, calling it, blame this solely on, you know, the Chinese government. They obviously did it on purpose. The conspiracy stuff. So, you know, I didn't really particularly enjoy that news. I mean, Jim's art, to me, has always been pretty special, and it's unfortunate whenever a legend reveals himself to be a little less than desirable. So
I do wonder, like, did someone give him a pass? Like, all right, this is your time. All right, just go ahead, say whatever you want to say. Because he's been quiet. Like, why now? Why come out now?
I just feel like, you know, it's at a point where, you know, you're only getting older. You're starting to give a fuck a little less. You know, you got.
This is true.
So, you know,
why not?
I'm gonna say what I think. Don't get me wrong, like, the rest of the comic books community, like, some of the people came right after him, like, Batman artist, the one who did Joker War. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to mess it up.
Coward.
Yeah, no. And last time I said it, everyone made fun of me.
I have to deal with it. Why can't you?
Because I'm sensitive.
You're brave and strong.
That's right. So yeah, he came after him. Mark Brooks came after him. They were like, "Hey, you know what the fuck are you saying? You know, you're sounding like a real fuck. You're sounding real goofy right now." So yeah, they came after him correctly for that misstep, and honestly, like, that was really disappointing. But you know, that's the only comic book news that I had. Yeah.
Hey.
And now moving straight on to comic book reviews.
Yay!
So guys, the last 2 weeks have been busy, to say the least. A lot of good books came out. So much so that I didn't even get to put a lot in the fucking list. Like, some stuff just didn't make it. But, happy to report, I did read some stuff. Infinite Frontier, number 0.
Damn.
Man, let me tell you. Wow. I didn't even, a lot of us, we kind of skipped right over. We were going through some of the future state stuff, and a lot of us got disheartened with it. I know it wasn't just, you know, me. We all got a little disheartened with it. It wasn't what we thought it was. It was a lot shorter than we thought it was.
Yeah.
And
it was shorter, but it had a shit ton of issues, like a shit ton of, like, different stories.
Yeah, between a couple of different, like, even if you even counting the stuff that was in the back of them, like, we had a bunch of shit going on.
It was like an overload of information.
Yeah, like, especially if you want to, like, you're not sure what matters and what doesn't.
Yeah.
You're just reading them and like, okay, hopefully this is gonna go somewhere, and then it ends after an issue. Like,
Only come to find out, it all matters.
Yes.
Right. Now, I did not read the final issue wherever this would matter, to where we get to see Wonder Woman kind of doing this...
Wonder Mother. She's the All Mother now. Oh, I love that new outfit.
It's nice. That silver deal? Oh, you mean the one at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like the Saint Seiya outfit.
Yeah, me too. I do like the Saint Seiya
she
outfit.
came...
So the TP Wonder Woman?
Yeah, Stop. So, yeah.
She looking sexy in that aluminum foil.
Nice and right.
She looking right.
Keeping her nice and... Never mind. Joshua Williamson, James Tynion IV, Scott Snyder, all taking jabs here at little of these stories as we kind of see where a lot of the DC characters are, where some of the future state people are coming from, and how they kind of tie in all through this stooge-like Wonder Woman story, which is kind of going back with her Ghost of Christmas Past to see where the people are at.
Yeah.
And what the future... No, go on. What the future holds... And how the multiverse is expanded, and now it's limitless, and there are so many universes piling on top of each other, and all seems to be looking up. And that's essentially where we find our characters. I thought it was pretty good.
It's surprising. That's a thick book.
Yeah.
That boy thick. But you
double
know what?
issue, worth every
nice.
penny.
I like the fact how much, like, I'm happy, which was an obvious choice, like, they were going to make this issue so you don't really... If you have read any of these, good.
Right.
But you didn't really need to read all of them
At
to understand
all.
what's going on, which is great. But I love this setup. So you got my expectations kind of up here. So I'm kind of like, I'm hoping it's a really good payoff of whatever story's coming after this, because that makes me wonder, like,
Excited for it.
yeah, like, so are they all going to just come down to a couple issues of this whatever New Frontier comic's going to be?
I would imagine New Frontier, in my mind, I had no idea this was like a rollout until I read it. Like, this came out like last week, and I missed it because the books that were coming out, I was more excited for those. But then I was hearing online that I gotta read this one, so I jumped on, and I'm almost surprised that I almost let this one go by. It's like, apparently it's a rollout. I don't know if there's going to be any continuation of the Infinite Frontier, whatever.
There is a, I believe I saw at the
Harley
end.
Quinn one.
There is a Infinite Frontier 1 coming out. I could have sworn I saw it. Yeah, Infinite Frontier #1 coming out in the summer.
Oh,
So there is going to be a direct sequel to
We gotta wait
this.
that long, but we
Yeah.
gotta read everything else in between. Though.
Right.
We
In
gotta-
the meantime, we do have Harley
gotta-
Quinns, Jokers, Justice League.
We gotta
Okay, is that a list of everything that's continuing?
Correct.
I really gotta
we
start checking
gotta
back
pick
in
and choose. We
the
gotta like draw,
Shit.
get straws and draw them out, and everyone has to get a homework assignment.
I'll do Superman,
But
and yeah.
to kind of step in, what I really liked about this book was a lot of the cliffhangers that they kind of set up with these stories, right?
Yes.
They kind of they posted a lot of stories and kind of give insight into what the storylines are kind of going to be like, and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Laid out a kind of just
like breadcrumbs of like what's
right.
happening.
They laid out a kind of shaky timeline of what's happening and what we can expect.
It's like a sizzle reel, if you will.
Right, and a lot of them were really cool. For example, Batman was kind of dragged me back in a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. That little prison story with the Joker and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting guess. I'm just kind of confused because I feel like did I miss a Batman comic? Like, I thought, like, this isn't that isn't Dark Detective.
No,
It's showing how. So that was this book, right? Where it was talking about what's that Big Brother program they have going on?
Fuck.
The Magistrate.
The Magistrate.
It should, because it was Dark Detective and Future State Batman. We're both talking about the Magistrate. So it looks like it's like a common sector that Gotham is going towards.
Yeah, because Jace was still there. So I'm like, and he apparently maybe still Batman. I'm guessing. So
Or
they're existing probably at the same time now.
Yeah.
It probably seems like these storylines and these universes are about to converge on each other.
The Scarecrow redesign was so clean.
So the only thing that kind of I had a little like moment about was really the dialogue between Wonder Woman and Spectre. I know they were going for that kind of like Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yeah.
But some of the dialogues, so for example, when they get to the young Superman, the Connor Kent, and Wonder Woman and Spectre's kind of talking shit more or less, and Wonder Woman comes out and no, see you his speed, see you his bravery, see you.
Yeah.
Listen.
That
You fucking
cornball,
19...
corny.
You 1865 ass dialogue.
They really punched it. They were really punching it up in some
See
parts.
you his physical strength.
Someone thought they was doing. Who they thought they were doing God's work. They were like,
See you his fight.
I
See you his cock.
don't understand.
Whoa, that's only Batman.
Yeah,
Go on.
I don't understand how you know what it's. How dare he make you feel like he could see the future? Because when he started talking about Superman, he seemed like he already knew what was going to happen. Like he was for sure, and he's an omnipotent being now. So I wasn't sure. Like, does he know what's going to happen? But then he proved him wrong. So he doesn't know. So fuck you. You just have an opinion.
Yeah, like everyone else.
Exactly. Like, this must be your dark. Like, what are you talking about?
what, Spectre? Why don't you just fucking spectate?
Exactly. Do what you do best. Watch.
I think, long story short, kind of what we're all getting to here is that, like, the book does deliver on at least more than Future State did, in my opinion. It delivered on the hope of the Infinite Frontier.
Yes.
It delivered on the hope. Like I said, Batman drew me in. The Green Lanterns drew me in. Like a lot of, I will say nobody really missed that much when I was reading this shit, except for Stargirl. Like
I wasn't a fan of
yeah,
Stargirl.
sorry.
Yeah,
It's
I care less.
like it's just not happening for
And,
me.
and I think the Teen Titans, I think they tried to build some kind of anticipation with Red X.
Yeah.
And I was like, man.
In the bag, look.
Yeah. Like,
Never mind.
I think they're trying to, like, yeah, obviously, I don't know if we ever found out who it was in that second Future State issue, but I didn't read it, so I don't know.
No, we did. No,
we read the first issue, but we didn't read the second one.
yeah.
I think I read it.
Did you? Oh, if you did, I don't know.
No, I don't think he did. I think he either died or something. But either
I read them both, and they didn't show you who Red X was.
Yeah, they
They're keeping it, because it's a mystery that'll unfold. In
But
the
everyone knows except for us. That's the problem. That's
Right.
the thing about like, oh, it's him. Oh, it's him. Yeah, it's always you, buddy. But like like, who is he? It's funny though. We're liking this and stuff, and guess what? This is the result of the dark metal. I mean, death metal.
Yeah,
I mean,
Death. Yeah. It is.
I don't eat tomatoes raw, but I love spaghetti.
Okay. No, there you go.
I'll take that. I mean, a little fuzzy, but I'll take it. It hits. It hits. It's exactly what I'm trying to say. Speaking of other things, we're moving on to
The actual
the
American
third try.
Chavez.
The third try, and hopefully the last time that we reiterate this character for whatever reason.
So far, so good though.
America Chavez, Made in America. Number 1. Let's see.
Not
I don't
a fan
want to
of
miss
that
his
title.
name. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I want to say this wrong way. Kalinda Vasquez, Carlos Gomez, Jesus. Jesus. Thank you, please. I don't want to hand it to him. I didn't want to hand it to him.
Kalinda Vasquez, Carlos Gomez, Jesus Arbutrov,
Oh,
VC's Travis Latham on the letter.
Laham. With confidence.
Yeah. I liked the book.
Yeah. So
I
far.
thought it was okay. Some of it was a little off, like the physics of punching up a building that's on fire just to let the smoke escape.
And then
Doesn't
pouring
make
and then
sense to
pouring
me.
it entirely.
I thought they were going to be
Yeah.
dead. I thought they were going to like the debris was going to fucking hit them, or they would drown, or
This
something.
Chavez, you're probably killing more people than you're saving right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I liked the flashback going back and forth.
I love how she
kinda-
punches stars.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
That's what really got me was the past stuff. The fun, like seeing her origin, her coming in as a
Yeah, because I'm
Person from
intrigued
another
to
world,
where.
interdimensional immigrant.
yes.
I mean, I'm really intrigued as to where it, because I've never known her like backstory at all.
one has.
So I think that I think it's safe to say for at least for an issue number 1, they kind of nailed it for me this time,
That's a
Yeah.
W. That's a W.
Yeah.
and which is so good to say
It's saying a
because
lot. Yeah.
man,
She
the
needs
first
other
time, the second time wasn't really feeling it, but this time looks like the only way to go is up for Miss America Chavez, and I hope that the books continue to deliver in the way that Shang-Chi did for his franchise. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Now, man, let's get to Wolverine from another. I'm trying to win this. Wolverine from another mother. All right. I am talking about BRZRKR #1 from Boom Studios.
What fun this book was.
Man, Keanu Reeves, Matt Kind. You even had classic Wolverine artist Ron Garney on art. I don't know what else to say about BRZRKR, man. Like, it's like a Wolverine story to me, without claws.
It's exactly a Wolverine story. From the just gore to the. There wasn't much story other than fucking
Excessive
snapping people's
violence.
necks.
Hyper violent. I don't know how a better way to say this, but I like how down to earth some of the dialogue was. Like
Yeah.
these soldiers watching this the BRZRKR do what he does, and when for no reason he tackled this guy out the window for zero reason. The guy,
Oh my god.
goddamn.
Yeah.
That was good. That's right. Like, we need to get information. He knows something.
Ah!
He knows something. Oh, you want to fight?
You want to fight?
You want to fight?
It's like John Wick. I know you're expecting that when we say Keanu Reeves, so I don't want to pigeonhole your boy here, but this is literally like John Wick meets Wolverine meets whatever revenge story you've ever seen. But it's kind of cool though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm rocking with it. The story is not hard to follow at all. Just in case you were worried.
Just like John Wick.
You know?
Yeah, you're not that You're not there for the story.
But that's
Right.
the charm because it helps you just get to the point. Like
It's simple and enjoyable.
Right.
My favorite part, I will say, is the part where he's running right at the Humvee with the 50 caliber machine gun, and he, in one swoop, front flips, drop kicks through the window, and in the very next panel, he's throwing the guy that was driving through that front window as he's behind the wheel.
Running over him.
How the fuck? It was amazing.
I love the tilt back with the dodge, and then he gets his nose shot off.
Yes.
And then he takes the grenade, like that page. Yeah, the page where he takes the grenade, fucking blows him up like while he's still inside. Yeah, this book, and then like there's a part where the kid with that kid. Oh boy, no witnesses. Remember that part where he came up and hit the kid in the back? I thought that was, like I said, this book. It is exactly enjoyable. It gets its point across. I'm interested to see how far they can take this and what they would do with a number 2. I'm definitely on board. They've sold me that far.
Yeah,
I don't like the dialogue between him and the little nurse, the scientist.
Yeah.
You're not a god. Then what am I?
Yeah.
I'm immortal, so I honestly I was kind of scared that by the time we got to the whole laboratory part and everything, I thought that maybe she was going to erase his mind. I don't know why in my head I was expecting a bloodshot thing, like, oh no, he's a weapon and he got to erase his mind in order to do everything. Yeah.
I think it's smart that they leaned into the whole idea that he's open to the whole super soldier thing. Like, just make whatever you gotta make. I don't care.
I like how he used that trope as him. Like
it means to an end.
Exactly. It's like it's whatever you want to make. Super people using my blood or whatever, immortal people. I don't care. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to just. What do you say?
He's trying to become mortal. He's trying to get mortal.
He wants to die.
He doesn't want to die. He wants the ability to die.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's interesting story. It's one of those number ones where they give you just enough, but not too much, And I think for this style of writing and this style of art, that's perfect, right on brand. I thought it was really good.
If you like babies biting titties,
oh my god,
you're gonna like this.
Yep. That's.
And if you say, what the fuck does that mean? Go read the book.
Go read the book. Children of the Atom, number 1.
Or Kata.
You listen, alright? It's not my... No, whatever. Alright, Vita, Alaya, Bernard Chang.
Looks better than it reads.
This is... I will say I'm somewhere in the middle when it comes to this book. Because it's like... I love more X-Men lore. Like, we know what's going on at the epicenter of Krakoa, mutantdom, post, exodus from, the standard mankind.
Yeah.
And it's like, in this book, we also got to hear a little bit of what that's like on the other side. And then, like, the rest of it is teen angst. Yeah, that's, that's always...
In this book, you talk about in general?
This book. It comes... We can't not have a book with teenagers and not have teen angst.
It felt like I'm building with Legos, and then here comes this book, and it's a mega block. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I've been waiting, because I thought maybe this was going to lead up to the next big thing. I didn't read it, but from the script that you, Clarence, and Jairo have been telling me, that, I thought... What?
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Look, I thought from real like this isn't it. This feels like an in between story because I'm waiting I'm waiting for the consequences of what happened last time to flourish. Like those two islands, those two groups of people to finally meet and see what's going to fuck with how they're going to deal with that.
Oh, that's coming, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's stuff that's happening, and if anything, what reading this just reminded me of is how woefully behind I am with these X-Men books that just keep fucking coming out.
Dude, they have not stopped since House of X.
Really?
They've been going.
It's a horde of X-Men books, and every day you don't read one, you just get further behind,
further behind. Oh, no. And the thing is, there's no list now, so it's just whatever comes out of this issue. Are you reading this? Are you reading Marauders? Are you reading X-Men? It's a lot of shit.
There's a little graph in the back, of what I don't know if it's what to read or what's coming out next, but there's another one of those things.
I think it's what's coming out next.
We're gonna didn't we try to have a plan to try to share the load a little bit?
As far as X-Men is concerned?
Well, it would mean you would have to read something.
I would. Hey! I read, Jairo. Alright, I just didn't read this.
Oh, you remember his name this time.
Not just your homework. You gotta read these books.
So yeah, if
Stop
you're
reading the vulgarity of VR chat.
Nothing wrong with that.
Vita Alaya, she's had some moments for me where it's like where you have issues where she completely stands out, like the Marauders issue for House of X,
Marauders.
like whatever that Marauders issue of House of X. Where X of Swords, where Storm got Stormbreaker. Yeah. No, where Storm got Stormbreaker, where she went to Wakanda.
Ooh.
Damn good issue.
Yeah.
And then you have stuff like Nebula. So she runs the gamut. Her writing runs the gamut of either right on the mark or leaving something to be desired. I won't say that's the case for me here. It's just that distinguishing the voices of the characters, like where they all at, they seem like one and the same right now. Angsty teens with a chip on their shoulder, and I know her writing to be something to be really great. So I can't wait if we get more time to really open these characters up individually, piece by piece, as opposed to lumping them together as the quirky kids from the block.
I would like for this to be some type of government attempt to make.
Oh, like a Trojan horse.
Yes, I would like for
That'd be cool.
this to be that.
That would be
And that's
cool.
why spoilers. If I could say that, that's probably why they're afraid to make that jump into Krakoa, because they don't know if they can.
So, like I said, Children of Atom, if it's your bag, if you like X-Men, if you like anything, any stories that kind of follow and circular that universe, but not exactly like in the thick of it, I wouldn't mind checking this one out. I mean, the art's pretty cool. I mean, the characters they have potential to be interesting. So that's the best I can give this one. Speaking of, what else we got here?
Potential the book.
JONNA and the Unpossible Monsters. By Oni Press, Chris Samney and his wife. This is their first book together.
Oh, this is the Oni Press book?
Yeah. No, I've never read a lot from Oni Press. Have you
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, this is my first Oni Press book.
No,
So, I will say this. If you are a fan of Chris Samney from Captain America to Black Widow, which is the reason why I picked this up, aside from the character's striking resemblance to Tomfa, the game for PS1, those are for the old heads who, you weren't outside when you were growing up playing video games like us. That's why I got this book.
Pizza Hut demo disc, baby.
Yeah.
This is, to me, just an exposition of how good Chris Samney is at drawing trees and rocks and shades. Don't get me wrong. That's no diss to the book. But as far as the story content is concerned, it is a breeze. And I don't mean like it just goes fast.
You can blink and miss it.
You can literally blink and miss it. This I won't say it's not like a book worth checking out, but like I said, this is literally just Chris Samney doing flexing right now. This is his prettiest book. This is the prettiest book I've ever seen him do.
This, but it feels like half a assignment that you just didn't finish, because there's no, like, story wise, art wise, great, paneling, cool, all that stuff down packed, but there's nothing really here. It's like most of the book is missing, most of the story's gone, and you want me to buy the next issue, and I'm worried if it's going to be as short as this. Are we going to get it in microdoses? Microdoses? Yeah.
Where's the beef?
And if you're going to do microdoses, you got to keep me interested to want to read the next one. This isn't it. So I'm hoping this is just a rocky start. And I'm hoping we get more out of it. And it's hard for me to even judge because there's nothing really here yet. Nothing's happened.
I completely agree. I had a completely different expectation going into it than what I got. When you first mentioned this a while back, I had an idea of what this book was going to be. And it started off like it, but then kind of it turned into a search mission.
The title character appears in the book maybe like 2.
The first 3 pages.
Yeah, and and it wasn't what I was expecting, so it kind of threw me off a bit. Like you guys mentioned, the art is beautiful. Some of the dialogue is kind of cool. The world that they're kind of setting up, it's interesting, but that was it. Like, it was very, very... I don't want to say shallow, because that kind of sounds disrespectful to what they're trying to achieve, but it's just...
You want more.
Yeah, it's...
I didn't get a chance to taste it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like a gulp, and the rest of the cup is full of ice. Very,
Yeah.
very, very, very pretty ice.
Yeah.
And maybe, we're used to being loaded up with, like, story and, like, exposition, and maybe the story they're trying to tell is really so light that they can spend multiple pages ad nauseum, like, painting the world, as opposed to, like, center focusing on, like, a story. Don't get me wrong, it was the fastest book I read this week for a reason. Like, I wonder if that's intentional. I can at least say I'm down for, like, maybe 1 or 2 more issues. I love whenever Chris Samney does anything. So, like,
But you gotta give me something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You gotta give me something.
Because
then you have books where he's doing the most, like
Yeah.
Firepower, and not everybody's on board with Firepower.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's a ton of exposition, there's a ton of story, and there's a ton of pages worth of stuff, it's just not.
It's not about like
It's
it's not about like the dialogue, because this book, like, you could make a book like this and have it have no dialogue whatsoever and still make
Still
a
tell the story.
decent story. But we haven't gotten to a point where any of the important story beats has happened,
Right.
especially for something that's supposed to be episodic. Like, I'm also want to see the next thing, but nothing's really happened yet. There's
Right.
there isn't no full, like, beginning and ending. Hell, there's a time skip in this
Right.
issue. We don't even know anybody. Why is there a year
Yeah.
time skip already?
We heard one name.
It should have been.
We saw one beast.
Yeah, they should have put her looking for her sister, and then have everything be a flashback, and then her finally
Right, so reverse order.
Yeah, and then maybe at the end, finally maybe finding her sister at the very end of the book, and then we finally, okay, this is the character now from where she was in the beginning or whatever. That's what I would have done. That way, you're left, instead of her left off being put into the having to go find wherever she may be in the unknown. It gives you a chance to show that she finally did this. She accomplished something, and you can care about the characters a little bit, a little bit more. But like I said, it's not my story. I don't know how. Hopefully, the next book has a little bit more beef, but we'll have to see.
Right. The next I have, speaking of beef. Oh my goodness.
Let me look at it.
So long.
Yeah.
Nocterra #1 by Image Comics. Scott Snyder, Tony S. Daniel.
God damn it, he did it again.
The usual Batman team over on DC. I think they do Detective, or at least they did Detective Comics. This is them breaking loose and doing their own thing over at Image. And let me tell you, this book feels good. Like, it feels like follow me here for a minute. This feels like a 2000s, like, action flick with all the little gimmicks, but in a good way. Like, you don't have, like, cheesy actors chopping up this dialogue and giving us this cool concept and kind of making the experience into something more meta. Mm-hmm. It's just that story, that cool concept. And I've always had this belief that, like, if you saw, like, a dozen of these B movies, if you saw them in comic book format, like, maybe they would be better off. And this is kind of feels like that's what this is. This is entirely one of those setups. And I think the concept is just, like, awesome. I actually really enjoy it. What do you guys think about Nocterra?
Like, it's good. And you're right, because I'm thinking, like, it's kind of like Pitch Black. It's kind of like Rain of Fire. It's kind of like maybe the first Resident Evil movie.
Yes, the first one. Only the first one.
Only the first one.
And maybe Underworld, too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and Underworld. Yeah, it takes you to... you get... Like, you step down in this world, and you're learning about what's happening, what the rules are now and stuff. You have a really cool, sometimes stoic main character and everything who will walk you through it. And you find out not only that they're stoic and stuff, but I like the fact they allow you to care a little bit more about her. Like, that's one thing a lot of these action movies seems to forget. To make you actually want to follow these characters and care about what happens.
Right, not just because they're badass and they can, like, wield 2 guns at the same time and ride a motorcycle.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can have Sarah Connor, destroying machines and stuff and being this badass and stuff, but I don't think I would have cared about her enough if she didn't have like a son to look after and just want to get back to him and everything. Like she has a goal, and this person has a goal. She wants to save her brother. That's the only person she has left. You also get a little into like what she was like when she was a kid and how she was before this apocalyptic thing happened. She was already in darkness for years until she was fixed. And that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, and don't like not making this like a slight to Scott Snyder, but like where the fuck did that come from? Like that is like talk about character motivation and making me care about a central character. Mm-hmm. He has never done that so fast and so effectively in anything else I've ever read from him. Honestly, I say that as a compliment. It's good in here.
Reading this book, it hit everywhere it needed to hit for a first issue for me. Mm-hmm. It gave you an interesting world that you would like to pay attention to. It gave you tension where tension needed to be, so it could keep you on the edge of your seat and make you want to read further to wonder what's going to happen next. Mm-hmm. It made you ask questions, and it made you want to see things that they are explaining and setting up. And it gave you a sense of wonder. So with all these things in the first issue, that's an easy win right there. Mm-hmm. It was a really nice read.
Right. Yeah. And it was fast for me, so I thought that was pretty dope. Like, there was another fast read.
I can't wait to see what these humans look like.
Yeah,
I thought that was
shit.
Yeah, I thought that was one of them at the very end.
Yeah,
I thought
too.
they just walked up, like they just talk like people, and they just walk up.
I was like, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, they have their own language.
Yeah, that's like they're a whole different breed.
In
that's
3
scary.
years.
Oh yeah, it's only been 3 years.
It's only been 3 years.
Yeah, and I also thought the way they do it is pretty cool. 3 p.m.
Like the 13 p.m.
Yeah.
What does PM mean?
As in, like, the night of the day of the big, like, PM, like, the day it went black forever. So they've been counting years as in hours of PM. Like, so 1 PM, 1 year,
and now we into 13.
Because I thought it was like an acronym that PM stands for something else, but we'll go with the clock.
Yeah, it's literally just that. So I thought it was really cool, easy world to sink into. You can almost, two things. Before I move on, I can almost hear the soundtrack for this book. Like, I can almost hear that 2000s like metal soundtrack for it. I can hear the Alice like character reading the exposition. Like, yeah, there you go. You know the vibes. As the only things I've got left, guys, is the recommendations list, which I actually had a chance to buy all 3. And I was gonna list them off. We got a continuation from Infinite Frontier. We have The Joker, number 1. James Tynion IV, Gillian Mach on art. I will say, like, as much as I try and stay out of the Batman Joker dynamic limelight and aesthetic in DC,
but you've been in there for a long time, bro.
Because it is played out to death for me. But like later last year when we had the 3 Jokers, we all really enjoyed that because they were playing up an aspect of the mythos. Oh God, you disappointed me. They was playing up a part of the mythos that isn't as much as dissect as every other thing that we've seen already. We're pulling at an angle that we don't normally pull at, and this one doesn't feature Batman or at all really much the Joker pretty much throughout the entire runtime. What we're focused on is a proposition put forth to Jim Gordon, a disgraced former Gotham PD commissioner who is poised with the opportunity to kill his devil, which will be the Joker. It's a simple premise, but it's something that is uniquely unexplored in this universe because Batman's not going to do it. We've learned that lesson.
Ever.
But we found somebody who has enough trauma behind him who possibly could.
If anyone has enough gall to do the right thing,
right,
it's Gordon.
He ain't gonna kill him.
I don't know, man. But even if he doesn't,
you won't do it. You won't do.
Even if he doesn't, the up till is still more interesting than half the bad books I've read, and I'm pretty sure more interesting than the ones that I'm going to read in a year going forward. I'll put my stake on that right now.
I like the fact that at least considering it.
Yeah.
Like even I know the most likely thing is gonna happen is that he's gonna get to the point, he's got the gun to the Joker's head, and He has every means to do it. No one would, he wouldn't even go to jail for it. He would be fine, consequence free, but he just can't do it.
They'll cuff him.
Yeah, he was like, I'm better than you, Joker. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to lock you up.
I can't kill you, Joker.
Again.
I know who can. Here
Again.
comes
Oh,
Red Hood.
That would be the best. That would love that. He's like, I can't do it. Like, and Joker, I knew it. You can't do shit. You can't kill me. I can't. But
And then Red Hood comes up the shower
And
with a
they walk-
crowbar.
Yep.
And
Oh my god.
as he's handcuffed to the chair, and it's just shadows and blood.
And then, yep. That'd be great.
We'll see.
And then blow him up.
One can hope. The sky's the limit with this one, as far as I'm concerned. So I'll at least check out maybe an issue 2. One by Aftershock Comics, Undone by Blood, or The Other Side of Eden. Lolly Nadler, Zach Thompson, Sammy Calvia. I will say this book is mired in a couple of different themes. It seems for the most part to be a setup of a heist interwoven with a story that might lead into whatever it is that they're going for. I love the art in this book. I like the time setting. I don't usually like old-timey shit era stuff. I don't really dig that too much. But for me, this book feels like a little bit updated, like a Penny Dreadful mixed with we haven't seen a lot of supernatural elements in it, but the world seems seedy, and polished to me. And I thought it was done really well, and I'm interested in it number 2. That's kind of why I picked it up. It's something a little bit different. It's 2 stories chopped up into one, and I personally would recommend it. I'd check it out. I think it's a decent book.
Okay.
Then we have Nonstop Spider-Man number 1. Joe Kelly, Chris Bachalo, and Tim Townsend. For me, I haven't picked up a Spider-Man book in centuries, dude. Almost 15 years. The cover caught my eye. The title caught my eye. What does that mean? What does Nonstop Spider-Man mean?
Can't stop moving like a shark.
Did you figure it out?
Subpar.
No. But what I did find is that Chris Bachalo as a Spider-Man artist to me is actually the sexiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just his ability to utilize so much panel space and not at the same time, he makes it look so seamless and sexy. And I will say though, when you're reading, sometimes when you're trying to read some of the more serious parts of the dialogue, not just the quips. Some of it it's a little easier for this stuff to get lost when you're slicing your panels across and down the middle and over right like this. But as far as keeping the tempo up for a book called Nonstop Spider-Man, I love how his spider sense reads. It actually spells out words like look out or get down, behind you, shit like that. It's in the use of the different angles. I know I'm talking about all art here. The story is interesting enough. It's fine. I think this is not this isn't a middle-aged Peter Parker. This seems like more of a mid-20s Peter Parker.
But it's still in the advent of him losing Parker Industries, because he did mention that he misses having money.
Yeah, he does mention this. He misses money. So yeah, I like the book. If you're a Spider-Man guy, I don't even know if I could recommend this to you. If you're a Spider-Man guy, you may hate Spider-Man's trajectory. I'll just say this. I'll speak to the outsiders. For people who don't really visit the land of Spider-Man much, this is a brand new number 1. It has enough to pull you in. You don't have to have read everything that came before it. And the action is pretty cool. The art is amazing. And if you're trying to find a way to lean into Spider-Man, this just might be it. I would recommend Nonstop Spider-Man number 1. And that's it. That's all I got for comics. I am done.